So welcome everyone to this new episode of Beyond the Airbrush, and it's already episode number 10. Yeah, time flies very fast. And as the first nine episodes, this episode is also very special because we are diving into dangerous territory tonight, because I'm with Geoff Paints. Geoff. And as you can see on the side of the screen, with this nasty claw and bones, we are going to enter Night Lord's territory tonight. And yeah, it's not for the, if you have a weak heart or kind of, yeah.
Not
So,
for the faint-hearted, they
yeah,
say.
exactly. How are you, Geoff?
I'm doing very well, thank you very much, and thank you for having me.
Yeah,
So
my pleasure. That's
a lot
very
of
cool.
fun. So yeah, this is nice.
And I'm pretty pleased because Geoff is actually not from England, and that's a change. Geoff is from the Netherlands. Or you say Netherlands, Holland, or
No, it's the Netherlands.
the
So a
Netherlands?
lot of people say Holland, but that's actually like a sub-part of the Netherlands.
Yeah,
So the
right.
Netherlands is good, and yeah, a lot of the heresy seems to be evolving around Britain, obviously. So, but it's
Yeah.
nice. It's nice for a change to be here.
Yeah, it's pretty much the cradle of Warhammer in the UK, obviously. But let's show the world that it's not only UK heresy, and we have many talented and passionate hobbyists from around the world, including you. And so on the side of the screen, you can have a little taste of what you can find on Geoff Instagram. His tag is obviously at Geoffpaints without any underscore or whatever.
Yeah, no strange things. It's just Jeff paints. It's just me painting. When I first created my Instagram, I had Legends Rise Studios, and then after like a year, I was like, oh, I'm not a studio. I'm just a guy who paints miniatures. It's just me. It's no grandeur, nothing else, just me. So I changed it to Jeff Paints. Nice and simple. It's good.
Yeah, straight to the point. And so Geoff is obviously deep into heresy, but not only, and we will discuss that along the way. And for starters, so actually, that's a new feature of the series. As you can see on the left, those are not recent models, but and I have to give him credit for that. It's an original ID from Welshie Paints,
Yes.
uh, who will be featured later on in the series if we manage to find the time to do the interview.
Yeah, he's
And
a great guy. I've met him at No Retreat. He's so much fun. Such a sound guy. So yeah, that's cool to hear.
yeah, he seems like a great dude. Yeah. And so he thought about, let's see if the people can find their very first miniatures. We can showcase that, and it would be cool to compare. Like, I start from that, and today I'm doing this, and that's pretty cool. So, just before diving into the questions, so your very first miniatures of all time is this elf?
Yeah, it's the high elf. So it's a coincidence actually. My I have a little son, Jason. He's like 7 years old, and he started to play with Legos because all the kids like to play with Legos.
Oh yeah.
He got this big box from the attic with my old Legos, and at some point he said, "Hey, Dad, I think this is not Legos. I think this is one of your Warhammer figurines." So, and that was actually the high elf, and it has to be one of the first. It is within the first box that I bought, so it might not be the very first model I painted, but definitely within the first batch of models
Mm.
that I painted. And I think I was like 9, 10 years old, maybe. So that's probably the first mini that I painted. So it wasn't that bad actually. I still remember fondly of that time, right? It's being creative, trying to build something as a kid, and yeah, it's just nice.
And actually, it's not that bad at all. Like paint is in the right places. I mean,
Yeah, it's
you-
quite weathered, obviously, because it stood the test of time and being
yeah,
meshed around with Legos. But I still remember I was quite happy with the red stripe on the
yeah.
cloth. So yeah, that's still something I really like to do a lot. I don't do it that much anymore, but freehanding of stripes I really enjoy. So yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, and no, I mean even the wooden bow is pretty neat, I would say, and yeah, the steel helmet is shiny, as it should. No, no,
I
no,
think it
it's
was mithril silver back in the day.
oh
So
yeah,
it was the
yeah,
shiny
right.
bright silver, which I really liked. So yeah, I wanted to have like a proper high elves army back in the day.
Yeah, no, I mean if you put that on a tabletop, it's okay. Like I
I
have
think I
seen
can do a
worse.
little bit better now, but it's good to see where we started out.
Yeah, actually. But I really seen worse miniatures, not being judgmental and all, but painting by real grown-ups. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
pretty good.
Yeah.
And side by side with this high elf, this is your first Space Marine?
Yes, but it's a different story because this is the first model I actually painted when I got back into the hobby
Ah,
around 10
right.
10 years ago. So yeah, we've all been like mainly the same story, right? You get into as a kid, you get a bit older, you get into teens. I was much into sports, football, going out, hanging out with friends, online gaming. And I think I went back into the hobby at the end of Warhammer 40K 7th edition.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was just on the brink of eighth edition when they did the big overhaul with the indexes. So we were really struggling with seventh, but that was the time that I got back into the hobby. And that's actually the first model I painted. And then obviously, when I joined back, I've never left and it's been more ongoing than ever. So yeah, so those are the two first time models that I painted.
Yeah. Well, I mean, everyone can tell that the Space Marine is not like from a total newbie. It's actually pretty decent. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I've always been creative. So I'm
Mm.
also like a graphics designer. I've always did a lot of drawings as a kid as well, some normal painting. So yeah, I've always tried to be creative. So yeah, it was a lot of fun, and then really, I really want to do something tangible again, right?
Mm.
Because I used to play a lot of online games, and I really love online gaming. I think it's really cool. It's still really cool, but at some point, you spend so much time, and you don't really have something to hold in your hands to really look at.
Exactly.
And I really want to do something that I could touch and I could see and I could progress at, yeah, spend some nice time with. And that's what drew me back into the hobby. And I've been loving it ever since. I've sold my PlayStation years ago, haven't missed it for a day.
Mm. Yeah, that's pretty fun actually, because I can totally relate to that, because that's
Yeah,
pretty much how I got back into the hobby, like yeah, 3 years ago. And
okay.
yeah, the feeling of spending an evening and then having nothing in hand or tangible when you play video games is a bit like frustrating. And then you spend an evening painting some miniatures. At the end of the day, you have something that you can grab, hold, and
Yeah, that's true. You can show it to people, right? You can be very enthusiastic about it. Obviously, you can share it on Instagram or anywhere
yeah.
else. It's just fun to create something, be creative, and share it with people.
Mhm.
And then with gaming, I still love gaming, right? And I will probably always be a gamer. But at some point, if you spend so much time on doing something, at some point I was like, what is the point? Right.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
evening after evening, doing raids on World of Warcraft, doing a lot of Destiny and all this cool stuff, Call of Duty, trying to get the highest kill death ratio. And then at some point, it's like, does it really matter? Because after 1 year, there's a new game. You switch
Yeah.
to the new game, and then you try something else. There's a new update. You have to level everything again. And then now I wanted to do something different.
Mm. Right. So let's rewind a bit. And
Yes.
so, can you state the decade you were born?
I'm from 87. I'm the same age as Harry is, Argot Hall, the same year. So I'm also 38. I'm starting to feel like it as well, but it's still, I
Ah,
still should
come
have
on.
a lot
That
of good years in me.
I have to say the thing that I really think is hilarious is that everybody I had in the series so far is way younger than me, and everyone is like, "Yeah, I'm starting to feeling old, you know." And I'm like,
But
yeah,
we are past 30, right? So as soon as you go past 30, there's some sort of threshold there. But no, I'm
yeah,
still feeling good. I'm feeling fine. So it was a small jest, but
yeah,
I'm from 87.
right. And how did you get into the hobby the first time? Like, how
Yes,
did that?
obviously, as a young kid, especially by my neighbor, we had neighbors,
Mhm,
and their son, I think he's like 3 to 4 years older than I am, and he always was into high fantasy, ninjas, all the cool stuff, and he kind of got me into the hobby as well.
mhm,
And I can still remember that we started first with Warhammer Fantasy. That was
mhm.
way before Age of Sigma, and
Yeah,
that's when I got into the High Elves. But it's quite a big game, right? And when you're very young, you don't have a lot of money,
um,
obviously, right? You need to get all the paints. It's quite expensive if you're a young kid.
mhm,
And I can still remember my friend, he was quite good at painting and he won a local gaming contest.
mhm.
And then he could pick like a big box. And that
Ah,
was right the time that Mordheim was first
yeah,
time released. So he got the Mordheim box, and I was like, "Why don't you get like the Warhammer Fantasy box?" He's like, "No, no, I saw this on the White Dwarf. This is really cool." And we've played it for so many hours, like countless hours. We put it to Mordheim, and it was just magical to me, right? That moment, and I think I was around between 11 and 13 years old,
mhm,
somewhere like that. So it's the full imagination, the full immersiveness of building a warband, progressing your warband, having the cool stories. Mordheim was such a cool game. I really enjoy it. And I have very fond memories of that. So that's how I also got into the hobby.
right. Yeah, Mordheim is yeah. I think it might be my favorite game from
I
Games
think from the
Workshop.
specialist game, it's way up there for me as well. I really rate it. We tried to do a campaign in the local club, but then you got to be quite strict with which
Yeah,
warbands you allow and which you don't. And if you go to Broheim, there are so many fan-made warbands, and the power level is
yeah,
just skipping like crazy. So I would suggest if you do more time campaign, be quite strict with the original warbands. That seems to have a bit of a better balance, but the game itself is just so much fun, right? And also the progressive element that's in there. So you get the experience, you get the new loadouts, you get new skills and stuff, and you give all the guys, you give names,
yeah,
you build a story with them, and I think that ties very well into Heresy as well. For me, it's much
exactly.
more the immersive side of gaming nowadays than the more competitive element. So
Mhm.
yeah, I really enjoy it.
Right. And so, all in all, how many years in the hobby would you
I don't
say?
really count the first part, right? That's just
Mhm.
mainly an introduction, and I'm not sure when eighth edition was released, but I think it's about 10 years, roughly 9 to 10 years that I'm back into the hobby again. So might be 11, but
Yeah,
somewhere along the lines.
right. Yeah, I don't know about that because I think I played from the late 80s to 1994, 95,
Yeah,
and then I just got back like in 2022. So yeah,
yeah. Well,
I missed a
it's very
lot.
like eight, you have eighth, ninth, and now we have 10th, I think, and
Yeah.
usually it's like 3 year cycle. So
Mhm. Oh
it's
yeah.
9 years and a little bit more. So I think it's 10,
Yeah.
11 years.
Mhm.
That's quite accurate, I'd say.
Right. No. So that's a more recent model.
Yes, this is very quite recent. Yeah.
A cool night raptor, or is he a raptor or just
Yes,
a?
this is a Night Raptor.
Mhm.
Nowadays, you can also run them as Praetorian Command Squad. They have the
Yeah,
same loadouts with the jump pack, but I like my Night Raptors.
yeah. I'm asking because I just read earlier today a bit of what is it in English? The Lost and the Damned. Well,
Yeah.
the second book of the Siege of Terra, and there's a small chapter about a night raptor uh, whose feet are starting to grow like a bird's claw, and then
Oh,
they won't fit in the power armor no more. So yeah, no, it's pretty fun. So. We all know that Warhammer and the hobby in general is an easy way to spend our money. But does the hobby helps with anything regarding life in general?
well, the most exaggerated answer is that it keeps me sane, right? So it's just for me, it's a safe space. It sounds very corny, but I just love. I need at least like one one evening a week, or I'd love to do more, but if I get
Mm,
one evening a week that I can just zone out a bit, sit down, I might not even paint. I might just look at models. I might think of color schemes, but just being able to sit at my desk, enjoy my own time, have a good audiobook on, watch a movie, and just think about the hobby or paint. It relaxes you, right? It
mm,
gives me energy, yeah, to go back at it again. So it really keeps me calm, and
right.
I love it.
So you're painting Night Lord's killing machine to relax, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. I need to
cool.
offset the relaxedness with killing machines. That's true.
Right. Uh, what do you like the most in the hobby? Is it the painting,
Yeah,
the
by far, by far. I really like to play. I think the game is very fun, but there's not a very big scene. We will touch upon that later, I think,
right.
here. So I don't play a lot, but I do like playing. But I really love painting, like the creative side of the hobby, but also figuring out paint schemes. I really like to think
Mm,
about how, if I approach a new army, how would I paint it? Which paints would I use? What's the recipe? How can I paint fast but still make it look very good?
mm,
And it's that creative stage before the actual painting that I also really enjoy about it. And obviously, yeah, you have maybe all the people in your podcast or in your interviews already, but I've also been to No Retreat last May, and that really opened my eyes from the social aspects of the
mm,
hobby as well. So I really liked meeting new people who have the same passion for the things that you do as well, and you create such easy friendships with people, and you're in such a social bubble for 2 or 3 days. It's been one of the best weekends of my life, if I'm really honest. And I would highly recommend anybody who's doubting to go there, just do it. Just try to get in, do it. It's the most fun you think you can have. It's
right.
great.
So yeah, so the painting, and
Painting and
the
social.
occasional
Those are
social
the
networking. Yeah,
yeah, those are the two big things for me.
right. And is there anything that you dislike regarding the
I
hobby?
I hate building. I hate building. I like to get creative with kit bashing, make your own cool models, but I dread building 40 Mark II Marines and stuff. Removing mold lives from plastic, I hate it. I actually I got 2 boxes of Saturn I sold almost all the models, and I'm just 3D printing them because 3D printing is so much faster. There's no mold lines, and yeah, maybe it's not as sharp as the real plastics, but I got to the point that I don't care anymore. I had to paint 3 Saturn Terminators. I spent like a whole evening building
Mm.
one,
Oh
just
yeah.
getting mold lines off and see how it
Mm.
fits. As no, I didn't like it at all. So I was like, okay, I'll do these 3 for the game store, but all the other ones I've sold, and I will just print them.
Mm.
It's much quicker, it's easier for me, and yeah, I just don't like building. I really like painting.
Right. I mean, I I can understand that too, because yeah, building tons and tons of Mark 2, 3, 4, 5,
Yeah,
6
it's a.
Marine
I
and
like to make like
getting.
a cool conversion. I did some crazy kit bashes back in my 40K days. I really
Mm.
enjoyed that. If you have like a creative idea to really make something special with multiple kits and multiple models, but just the bulk of the most things that I don't really enjoy. It's like the default troops and stuff. Even though it's important, right? We all love a nice army, so you still want to do it to your best capabilities, but it's just a slog to me.
Yeah. I won't judge you for that. Actually.
Thank you, thank you.
Uh, just so on the side of the screen, so that's pretty much summarize your current painting style for your Night Lords.
Yeah, I think so. With the Night Lords, I was a bit crazy. I had to paint them quite quickly for the event because
Mhm.
when I applied for No Retreat, you have to put in an application, and I had no idea if I would be picked or not. I actually painted one model for my application. I didn't have anything else, one model, and I was like, I will see where this will take me. I didn't really expect to get in, but obviously I was lucky enough to
To
go.
go.
And
Mhm.
then I was like, oh yeah, all right, okay. So now I have to build and paint a 1,000 point army. And I think we got the feedback, I think, in August. but I still had a 40K grand tournament in November,
Mm.
and I was working on a Drukhari army for that because I also wanted to compete for the Best Painted award. So I was like, nah, after November,
Yeah.
I still have enough time to June to
Yeah.
do the whole army, and then procrastinating, and then think I really started in February. So,
Yeah.
so
Well,
roughly end of February, between February and May,
in
I
May, yeah. Mm.
painted 3,000 points. So, yeah, it was. I would not recommend it to anybody. Take some more time. It's been quite stressful, but it also forced me to find a way that I could paint rather quickly to a decent standard. Because the problem that I had is that I applied with the test model. And I think that if you apply with the test model and they choose you based on the test model that you applied with, the rest of the army has to have the same quality, right? I can't get in with no highlights on anything, whilst my test or my application model did have highlights. So I really felt it's not like pressure, it's a healthy pressure to keep up the same standards
Mm.
to go to the tournament. You don't want to go there and yeah, make a fool out of yourself. So, but I'm quite happy with where it's at, and
But
this is quite recent. Yes.
yeah, and then you manage to paint all your army in due time and just
Yes.
go there and play. So I
Yeah.
mean that's
Quite
good.
happy with that. Quite proud as well, to be really honest. So you get the sense of achievement when you have it done, and there's nothing cooler to me than go to a table, rock up to an event, and put a fully painted army on the table that you're happy with.
Yeah.
It's a very proud moment for me as well. So I really liked it.
Did your army had a theme or specific
I
writer
really tried to
wall?
tap in most with the specific Night Lords army, and I tried to really make a list that plays around the Night Lords rules as well back in 2.0.
Mm,
So I
yeah.
tried to put in like pinning weapons. I had terror squads, I had two Night Raptor squads, a lot of jump packs. I really like the jump pack assault of Night Lords as
Mm,
well. That they come in the night and they jump down on and prey on the weak. So that was basically the list. Um, I think the most traders had quite fluffy thematic lists, and we got absolutely stumped during the
yeah.
event. So maybe next
Classic.
time I will tune back the fluffy element a little bit and take a few competitive choices. But I had fun anyway. The problem with my Night Lord's army was it was very elite, so I
Mm,
didn't have a lot of models. It was really an expensive army points wise. So I knew from the get go I would have trouble scoring. Didn't
mm,
have a lot of line as well, but yeah, I just wanted the armor that looked really cool and I had fun with playing. I think that always wins the
yeah.
day for me.
But actually, it's why we play the game to have fun. So yeah.
Yeah, for me, yeah, definitely. So I was quite happy with the list itself. Didn't do very well, but also I didn't really play that much on forehand. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was what it
Mm,
was. But I had a lot of fun, and I actually had two or three very close games, like 2 or 3 points difference. One I actually lost because I could not make one two up save. So yeah, it was terrible, but hey, it happens. So I've learned to lose on the tabletop in the last couple of years. So it's all fine. It were epic moments. We had a lot of fun. We laughed about it, and it's what it is.
yeah. So it's a win in the end.
In
So
the end, it's always a win if you can
yeah.
play Heresy on cool tables with cool people.
Yeah. And actually, I just have a question. It's about the legs of that model.
Yeah.
So it's an MK4 model,
Yes. Yes.
and these legs are 3D printed, right?
The whole model is 3D printed.
Yeah, but and the legs come in three. Well, you have the two thigh and the hip, and then you have the two bottom legs are separate, and
No,
then
it's actually the legs and the crotch area to the hips. It's all
yeah.
one.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
So you only have the legs and the torso, and they just go on each other, and that's it.
yeah, right. Because those one are from who? The design?
I have no idea.
Yeah,
It's
no,
been
no.
like
No.
almost a year ago that I sourced him, and I
Mm.
think I almost got like 3 or 4 different packs of MK4 legs of a
Yeah.
Mark IV.
Okay.
So I'm not sure which one eventually I
Mm.
ended up with, but I combined a lot of files because the arms and the helmets are from DMS Damsa.
Yeah.
I found the jetpacks. I have no idea. Also on cults, and I found the torsos. They were specifically Night Lord's torsos.
Mm.
So almost all my models in my army are like three or four
Mm.
different file sets mashed together to make it a whole. I really wouldn't like to spend like the all the money on the original Night Raptors because with the current scaling, the old
Yeah.
models, the
Um,
Forge World ones, yeah, I'm not a big fan of them. I My Raptors are just a little bit bulkier than the new Mark 6 Marines, and I think
mhm.
that's them really well.
Yeah. Yeah, but I was asking because it's hard to find like dynamic poses with the legs.
Yes, I think I found two or three sets, but these were actually assault poses.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, quite happy. And there's actually a lot of legs in there, and you can do simple tricks like mirror
Yeah.
legs. So then if you have 10 different poses, you mirror them. And poof, you have 20 different.
Yeah, exactly. So, do you have a favorite legion?
Yeah, as well, obviously one of the favorites is Night Lords. But in 40K, I've always been a Dark Angels player. So,
Yeah. Okay.
but because they already did them for 40K, I want to do something different for Heresy. But it is probably going to be my next Legion. But those are my two favorites, and I'm also a big fan of White Scars.
Right.
I have a White Scars 40K army as well. I really love like a full army of bikes and what Callum did with the White Scars and Phil. They are amazing guys and they have amazing armies. And if you do white well, it looks so striking on the tabletop. I think it's really cool.
Yeah. And actually, if you do Dark Angel after Night Lords, you can play Trauma's Crusade or
That was kind
campaign.
of the idea as well. I also
Yeah.
want to give them the same basing theme, I think, because I think I have these industrial bases. So the
Yeah.
idea was that the Night Lords, they kind of entered like a base or a ship, and
Mm,
I think it would be cool in that part of the Tharmas Crusade that they fought against the Dark Angels.
mm.
But probably my Dark Angels will also be traders because
Ah,
I'm a trader by heart, I can say.
no,
So
yes. Yeah. I
I
know I know it was a
still
good
have
idea
to,
to invite
yeah.
you. I
I
know.
still I still have to play around a little bit with the idea and the theme that I had. It's quite similar to Brian Scott that you had on. I actually already have the Outriders. I found some very good files. I printed them, gave them like the Raven Wing banners. I gave
Yeah.
them all power lances because I
Hmm.
wanted to make them like Knights of Old, but then riding bikes
Hmm.
instead of steeds, and they all have these medieval banners, and I wanted to give them all their own heraldry. So I
Yeah.
have
Cool.
old world transfers, and they get their own shoulder pads, their own banners. I think it would be so cool that if you see like 12 bikers rock up in
Mm,
lance formation, spearhead formation, I think it's so cool. I just did not. I'm not really satisfied yet with the scheme, like the color recipe for the black. So I need to do a few more testers to see where it's going. But I would love to have like a Raven Wing based Heresy army as well.
yeah. That would look really cool on the tabletop, actually.
I think so. I think so. But I have to still figure it out, do some tests. But everything's been printed, so I already have quite a lot.
Mm.
I just need to settle on the scheme, and then yeah, need some more time.
Yeah, the black is a really a tricky one on the power armor. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to do it more with a green hue to it.
Mm.
So really like black, but then go with a very muted, saturated green tones, a little bit like the new Risen in 40K. I
Yeah.
think that works really well, and I think it also fits my style a bit with all the gradients and the high
Mm,
contrast.
mm, mm.
So yeah, there's something there. I just need to figure it out.
Right. Well, that's a cool project. Yeah. Uh,
Certainly.
and so in 40K, so yeah, the Dark Angels would be your favorite. And from the Heresy, do you have a favorite character?
Yeah, I think this might be a bit of a weird one, but I really liked Barthus and Narek.
Yeah.
So it's the I don't think I've heard it before, but I'm not sure what it is, but I really liked his demeanor, how he went about things, and yeah, I think he's a really cool character in the Heresy as well. And I'm still very curious to see what they are going to do with him story-wise,
Mm.
because in the last books that I've read, he's still playing like a minor part in it. So I'm curious to see where that goes. I think he's one of the few cool word bearers.
Yeah, well, they are all very cool if you ask me.
I knew you would say that.
I'm a bit biased, but yeah.
Yeah, I know.
And do you have a specific favorite piece of lore that would come to
There
mind?
are there are a couple of standout moments, but the first thing that really grasped me when I started to listen to the audiobooks is the moment that Horus actually killed his remembrancer, like the woman, Petronella Vivar. And that was the moment in the second book, like, oh shit, now it's going down, right? It's happening. Heresy is now full on. This is now it all goes down the hill. I thought that was a pretty epic moment, but also, of course, Loken when he bashed Lucius in the cage, that always sticks with me. Perturabo who bashes Fulgrim, I really loved it.
Mm.
And the Noise Marine fighting the Iron Hands guy. So there was this noise marine from the Emperor's Children, and he was shooting at this guy with a rocket launcher who was standing on a tank, but the guy was deaf. So the noise weapon didn't work. And I thought it was just so cool. I thought it was really cool. So for me, it's always like those small moments that are really cool
Mm.
instead of the whole grand events that are happening. I think there's so much character in these small things that happen. So yeah, there's a lot of cool moments in the books.
Yeah. And even if some books are like not that great, you
No,
can
there's
always
always
find.
something in it, right? So and I always listen to the audiobooks whilst painting, and then if it's not that good of a book, it doesn't really matter because I'm painting anyway, right?
Mm.
I'm fully invested into it, so yeah, it's fine. I've listened to all the books so far, so I really love it.
Yeah, no, that's a wonderful universe.
Yeah,
We have to admit, and
100%.
yeah, no. So you already talked a bit about your process when you are
Yeah.
thinking about a new army project, but is there anything that you would like to add about that? Like you said,
No,
you.
I think it's mainly I just need to get like a proper feeling about like a theme that I can give to an
Mm,
army and also think about the colors that I need to paint it with. And I want to find because we with Heresy we paint armies, right? So
yeah.
it's always going to be like a 3,000 point army. And
Mm,
I need to find a way that I know I can paint 300 points in let's say 6 months to a year to a nice standard that I want it to be. So it's always a combination of those factors.
mhm.
Yeah, right now I'm quite new to the heresy, to be really honest. So I started with the Night Lords only, I think, a year ago,
Yeah,
something like it. But I moved everything from 40K out of the way. I'm full on heresy right now, and Dark Angel is going to be my first new heresy project. I'm sure about it. I just need to figure it out.
yeah,
But they will come, and it will happen.
great. Yeah, that's really great. I'm sure you're going to do wonders with them. Yeah.
I hope so.
So just a quick word for this gentleman on the side of the screen. So
Yeah.
obviously he has a rotor cannon because that's pretty much like well maybe not in the new edition, but in 2.0 it was a weapon of choice for the Night Lords, and so this is a basic trooper.
No, he's a terror squad actually.
Yeah,
So
Terror
the
Squad.
terror squads are the like the specific Night Lords guys that they have. They also have like the black shoulder pads with a hand, and they have slightly different helmets as well.
Yeah.
Um, and they have infiltrate, fear, and other stuff like that, right? Preferred enemies. So in
Mm.
Super, they had a bunch of extra rules. They were still quite expensive, but I just love the idea of having one squad of dudes that are different than the rest of the army. So and rotor cannons work quite well for the pinning, and I think I will still use them as well in 3.0 because we again benefit
Yeah.
from having a status on the opponent. So
Mm-mm.
I will still rock the rotor cannons probably every time.
Yeah. Weapon of choice of the yeah,
Yeah, I think it's cool.
the most courageous legion. Yeah. That was sarcastic, obviously.
I know, I know.
Moving on to the next questions. Uh, do you enjoy something in particular about the game, about playing the game?
Rerolls. I used to play quite a bit of 40K, and the game has just changed in a way that I don't think it's for me anymore. And I really like the immersive side of gaming more and more. And nowadays, with a competitive mindset as well of a lot of players, it's fine. And I still think it's a cool game. It's just not necessarily for me
Mm,
anymore. I I don't know what it is about these L-shaped game buildings and stuff. I would just want to have these epic immersive moments on the tabletop, right? That's what I think makes a great game. I think a game is good if it's until turn four, it could still
yeah,
swing either side and just having fun with your opponent. So I really like Heresy in that regard. So to me, it's much more immersive, less rules bloat, less. I think also less gotcha moments, which is a
mm,
big thing. And yeah, I just love the fact that what you roll is what you roll. You don't have to factor in all these probabilities, these chances, these math hammer as they call
yeah,
it. Because you're so happy when somebody fails a two up safe, and it's like, yeah, come on, reroll. It's like, of
mm,
course,
yeah.
yeah, that's I wanted to swear, not doing it. So just that, and it's also during no retreats, my rolls were horrible. I mean, absolutely horrendous, to the point that people actually felt sorry for me. But at some point now, it's easier for me to let it go, right? It's just what you roll is what you roll. You're playing a game, and that's
Yeah,
what it is. Try to have fun. Don't be too salty. Of course, you can be salty. It's only natural, right? And if it's constantly going the wrong way, but at some point, just let it go. Try to be a nice guy.
yeah, right. Well, if you don't want to play with dice, you can play chess or whatever.
Yeah, that's very true.
But yeah,
But still, you will always, I'm happy that if I start to everybody calculates, right? Because there's no use in throwing dice into a unit, attack a unit that you can't
no,
really use anyway, right? So there's always this element of figuring out the averages. Everybody does it mentally,
yeah,
and then I'm already happy if I'm below average. But because that's what I calculate because I can't roll dice to save my son's life, right? So if somebody would put a gun to my son's head to say you have to throw a two up, I was like, goodbye, son. It's
yeah,
like I just can't. So always on these clutch moments, I fail. It's the same thing. I was fighting Alex, and my Praetor was in a duel, and it would get like D3 victory points for Slay the Warlord. I
Mm,
had to make one two up save, couldn't do it. So I lost that game by 2 points. But still, I'm not going to be salty about it, right? It happens. It's fun. It's again an epic moment. It's not my way this time, but it is what it is. You try to be a friendly guy and just relax.
yeah, and that's also well, from my experiences, the average heresy player is more about like cheering you up when you are rolling like
Yeah,
ones all the
it's
time.
I think also the most people I've played into Heresy are usually also a little bit older players that come from
Yeah,
40K hobby for a
right.
long time. It's very different atmosphere than if you go to a 40K tournament. I won't say anything bad about 40K tournaments. I've done loads of 40K tournaments. I still like it. I still enjoy it, but it's very different on how I approach Heresy. And at some point, if you just take away that hyper competitive mindset, it doesn't matter as much the outcome of the game. Of course, I play to win. I try my best to play to win. I try to be smart. I try to be tactical. But yeah, if the dice don't work with you, the dice don't work with you.
Mm, exactly. And then you were talking about like immersivity. Is that a word? I don't know. But
Immersiveness. So immersiveness,
immersiveness.
yeah, that's if it's about more the storytelling aspect, right? So
Yeah,
immersiveness is that if you have fully painted armies, a very nice table of scenery, it's like you can almost imagine yourself being on the battlefield playing out
exactly.
these epic moments, and that's immersiveness. How you see the hobby, and it's very different. I won't judge anybody who plays the game, but if you go to the club nights and people play with gray armies with MDF terrain, it's just a different game. It's a different approach on what you want to get out of your evening, and it's fine with me. People have a lot of fun. I've had a lot of fun, but now I'm more to the point. I want to create more like cool stories, right? Like if I have two or three really cool epic moments, like a nice duel or like a pistol that clings the last wound of a tank, I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and that's why I picked the photo
Yeah,
on this slide. I mean, talking about something immersive, like you have the Night Raptor on the just next to the Praetor with
yeah.
he's like, yeah, come on, guys. Yeah, we're going to launch
Yeah,
a surprise
let's
attack.
go. Let's go.
Let's go. And with the Scorpius behind, and yeah, this one is very, very cool.
Yeah, it
Like
was a quick shot we took during no retreat. So, but they have a lot of cool tables and a cool setup. So already playing the game, deploying the game, you really feel,
yeah.
yeah, it's a cool aspect of gaming that I really enjoy.
Mm. Yeah, and speaking about like terrain, etc., we will talk about that a bit later on because
Yeah.
yeah, you printed a bit of terrain recently too, if I'm correct. And actually, that's what me. I'm a big, big, big terrain fan. I love it. I love playing on it. I love painting it. It's so much fun, and it's the additional detail that gives real life to the tabletop.
Yeah, I think like terrain is the third player.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
two player and train is the third player with a good mat.
Mm.
Yeah, even stupid things like the rocks and everything.
Yeah.
All the things and the details that you add to make it more lifelike really adds the experience of having a cool game. So I
Mhm.
totally agree.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure if I look forward to painting two or three full gaming sets of terrain, but
You'll
I just
see.
be smart about it. Use a lot of rattle cans, oils, and it doesn't have to be perfect for terrain, but
No.
so much cooler if there's color on it, and you can do cool, simple effects with the airbrush. It doesn't have to be as neat, but I would also really love to use it to make a few more atmospheric photos of
Mhm.
my models. Right?
Yeah.
I think it's cool to. They probably don't do as well, and I don't care as much. But it's cool to create also a story with pictures, and
Mhm.
yeah, and terrain would help really well with that.
Yeah, absolutely. And two last thing about terrain is that if you have kids, painting terrain with kids is so much fun.
That's actually a quite good one. I might
Yeah.
try with my son. He's a little bit into painting last year. So sometimes he wants to paint, sometimes he wants to play Legos.
Yeah.
But I take it every time he wants to paint. I'm like, of course, buddy, here we go. And I
Yeah.
have a
That,
wide desk. So we sit next to each other. And it's a very wholesome moment for me. And then
yeah.
I think it's actually quite handy indeed to give him a chunk of terrain. It can't go wrong, right? So
No, you can't.
yeah, I
Just
will him.
the bigger brush that you have, and then whew, let's go. And yeah. I'm having a lot of fun with mine, like painting terrain. So yeah. And the second and last element about terrain, you were speaking about atmospheric photos.
Yeah.
My good friend Walt Bros, who was in the first episode of the series,
Yeah. Seen it. Yes.
well, he used to do some like ultramarines versus world bearers on calf, etc. And it really gives a very, very cool atmosphere and feeling to the pics more than just looking at miniatures. It's yeah, a great idea.
Yeah, I think if you try to combine it with a little bit of storytelling, I think it would be quite nice.
Yeah,
And but you do it more also for yourself, right? Because for yourself, you create these cool moments and it's fun to share. But it's very otherwise. Normally, when we share stuff, it's more like a showcase, right? It's
yeah.
like presenting to the world what you've painted and you're proud of it. But
Mm,
now instead of having it more as a painting display, it's more like a narrative display that you would
mm.
like to show, right? And then I also like to paint a lot of other models that I don't want to have an army for,
Yeah,
but then you can just paint like a couple of like three or four cool wood bearer Mark 6 Marines and put them against like a cool Praetor. That would be quite cool to do actually.
exactly.
Now you
Yeah.
have a reason to do it because otherwise, why would you paint four Marines that you would never use anyway?
Yes.
Yeah,
But I,
so I'm really looking forward to that part as well.
mm. But I see you have a lot of plans and ideas, and yeah, the
Yeah, well, probably the first atmospheric photo will be somewhere in 2032. As with everything, but it doesn't matter as long as we are positive and we're having fun with it. It's fine, right?
right. Well, the important is to have plans. Then
The
we'll
rest
see.
will follow. At some point, I will have it. There's no doubt about it. I'm not sure, only not sure why. And I really stopped pressuring myself with
Mm.
time goals and everything. I've made all these spreadsheets, like weekly plans, weekly goals, painting goals. That at some
Yeah,
point it burns you out. And now I'm like, I just paint whatever I feel like painting, what I want, when I want. I don't care anymore about anything else. I just want to enjoy my hobby for me, myself, share it with people who I really like within the community, and that's it. And I've never been as happy inside the hobby as I am
Mm.
right now. So
Yeah.
that's a nugget of advice that I could give to anybody. If you don't really care as much, don't pressure yourself painting what you think the algorithm wants to see, what
Mm.
other people want to see. You need to spend time on a model that you enjoy.
That's a good advice.
Yeah.
Yeah, the best one, actually.
Yeah.
Is there a strong community about heresy in your area? No, you said
No, no,
no.
no, no.
Okay.
It's bar non-existent.
Ah, yeah.
So
Okay.
I'm trying to see if some people from our game club are into heresy, but it will take years for them probably to get Amis as well.
Mm.
There are a couple of guys that are like 45 minutes to an hour drive, so we could arrange some battles. And I have a couple of friends who are into it, but we're all just so busy.
Yeah.
I actually in 2.0 when I applied for No Retreat, when I went to the event, I played one game. So one game of Heresy 2.0 before going to a tournament. So that was my game plan. So that's might be one of the reasons why the first two battles didn't go so well. But
Yeah.
I did play quite a bit of 7th edition 40k, and that's actually the basis for the
Yeah.
rules for Heresy. So it wasn't like it was totally new, and I pick up on things quite quickly because I also play a lot of 40k. So the gaming mindset, the tabletop gaming mindset, is obviously there. So the first two battles, they were just like the dumb mistakes that you make, and I did not make that in the other games, and the other games were very tight.
Yeah.
It had more to do not with me playing bad, it was just the list was very bad.
Mm.
But yeah, I would love to play a bit more, but it's hard for me to get games in. I probably should just go more to events to enjoy some more games. But yeah, around my place, it's very hard.
Mm. But the good thing is with the new edition is that the game pace is really faster. And then before, well, when you knew quite well the rules, etc. Let's say a game was about 2 hour and a half, 3 hours at 3,000 points. But now you can have a 3,000 points game in 2 hours.
Yeah, and I think if you do 3.5 hours of 3,000 points, you're already quite fast.
Yeah,
Fast
and
most
but
people, right? So I like that the pace seems to be better
mm,
now. I really like all the bad reps that I've been seeing. I've been reading up on the rules a lot, and I wasn't that heavily invested in 2.0 as well, right? So
mm,
to me, this is not as big of a change as for
right,
most
yeah.
people. So it's not as hard for me to step over these boundaries and be like, oh, I don't care. I want to have fun, right? It seems
Mm.
good, looks good. I'm just gonna play it and see if I like it, and I think I will have a lot of fun with it.
Right. Speaking about events, so for 2.0, so you went to No Retreat in
Yes,
Utah.
that's yes.
Did you attend any other?
No, I
No.
just did no retreat, and then by that time there were already quite stark rumors that 3.0 was coming.
Mm.
We even don't have a lot of heresy events in the whole of the Netherlands,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
probably have to go to the UK anyway to go to a tournament, heresy tournament. And I was like, I would just wait and see what 3.0 does first, and see what we can do there, and then maybe next year I'll do some events. But I'm keen to go back to no retreat anyway. So and that's in September 26th.
Mm.
So that's probably going to be the first event that I will do and actually play my first game of 3.0. I'm all about going in prepared, but it's
Yeah.
fine. It's fun.
Let me tell you what, if you don't find anybody to play 3.0 before going to No Retreat, I'm going to the Netherlands to play with you at least one
That's
game
good.
before
I
you.
will take you up on that one. But we will see in the next summer. In the summer of 26, I haven't played one single game. I will invite you over and we'll
You hit
play
me
some.
up, and then yeah, I'm coming for a game. Um, Speaking of, so you played a bit of 40K. So did you ever throw a Metal Mini at
I have not thrown a metal mini at somebody. I've never even thrown a mini at somebody. I didn't throw anything at somebody. But There is a story that I've been known for throwing dice around the kitchen.
Ah,
It was back in the day when I have a very good friend of mine. We played a lot of 40K against each other, and we were kind of the competitive guys within the club, and we
yeah.
always did well at tournaments. And then he really took off, and he's now one of the best 40K players in the Netherlands by far. Well, he's among that elite group.
Hmm.
I always, if it's like cutting edge and you really need like clutch moments and the dice are just screwing you over time after time, at some point you get so competitive, I could not shake it off. And then
Hmm.
I threw the dice through the whole kitchen. And yeah, he didn't mind. He thought fun about it, but it was one of the moments that I thought, why? Why am I doing this? Why am I so invested? And I've really learned to lose. You really have to learn to lose and not be a dick, right? You don't want to give a person you don't really know a bad feeling at the tabletop, right? That's the worst that can happen. So I've really learned to lose, take it with pride, and it is what it is, right? In the end, it's a dice game, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. So
Yeah. And then, well, if Games Workshop made like really strategic games, I mean, no, we would know about that.
I have more troubles if I make a very dumb mistake in a game that I'm mad at myself than right now when the dice are bad, right? If the dice are bad, the dice are bad. But if I make a stupid mistake, I get salty, but I'm salty on myself and not on the other player. Because I had this really fun game against oh shit, I forgot his name, but he's a really sound guy on no retreat with his ultramarines, and he went first, and he had these three Proteus land speeders, and he blew up both my Sakarans turn one, and there was nothing I could do about it.
Yeah.
And he's like, I feel a bit bad, Steven. He said, I feel a bit bad. It's like, hey, it's what it is, right? It's a game. I'll try to see if I could claw it back. And
Mm.
then I really start to tank all the wounds on the 2-up saves and the artificial armor. And I had to do all this crazy shenanigans that I don't like to do, but I was like, I have to do it because otherwise I'm going to lose eight
Yeah.
zero.
Mm.
And until turn four, it was actually still pretty close. So I just tried to do the best that I could. And he really stumped me anyway, but he still said he had a very nice game and he really enjoyed it. And I think that's very important.
Yeah. But that actually was in 2.0, like if you wanted to learn to lose, you had to play traitors because obviously the loyalists were like
Yeah,
ready.
and face Ultramarines. I have no
Eh,
idea who wrote that stuff. It's like I'm not sure if they even put the traitors and the loyalist stuff next to each other. It's like
Yeah.
this is bad, all the stuff that they can do. Like the Ultramarines as well, like weapon skill here, blister skill there, do this, do that. It's like what's going on? I don't have shit.
Yeah,
I have no
exactly.
idea. But I played Ultramarines twice against two very competitive lists, and obviously I lost both, but not by a great margin. I bashed all the Susies that were there. That gave me a really good feeling. Like all the Night Raptors jumped on the Suzerain and they just ripped them apart.
Oh,
And that
oh
was a
yeah.
good. Yeah, that was really good.
Ah, that's cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
because
So
yeah,
I had my cool moments. Still, I lost the battles, but it wasn't like straight up losing and have no chance at all. I just tried my best, and yeah, it's always an uphill struggle if you don't have a lot of line. You have very elite units that disappear quickly, but yeah, you just try to do the smart things that you can.
yeah. Well, about that, it's pretty much the same in 3.0. So, well,
Yeah.
yeah, you gotta paint some tactical squads. Mm.
Yes, I have tactical squads, so I have some nice Vanguard as well. So I'm really looking forward to make new lists, and I'm trying to make a list that are a little bit more competitive, not super competitive,
Mm.
but you need to have some sort of edge somewhere. And I really like the statuses,
Yeah.
so I tried to make a list where I could put in all the weapons I can find that inflict a status on a model, and we'll see where that will take me. But like every gun that I have will have either suppression, pinning, panic, doesn't
That's
matter.
true.
It has to have something, and you just need to roll checks, checks, checks everywhere. That's the idea of my new Night Lords.
Yeah, that's cool. A good way to make new friends. Yeah.
I Hey, after the last low retreat, I think everything is warranted. I can get away with anything now.
So now we talked about the game. Let's talk
Yeah.
about a bit more about what really matters to you, the painting.
Yeah.
So, how would you describe your painting style?
Yeah, I think my painting style, I like to call it weathered metal. right? So I really like the heavy metal style of painting. It's not for everybody, I really know that, and it's quite hard to do because you have to be very, very neat.
Mm,
But I try to find a way where I can kind of mimic it, but be more forgiving. And I've noticed that if you put in quite a lot of weathering in it as well, it's much more forgiving. You don't have to be as neat
yeah.
as to because heavy metal you have the thick highlight, the thin highlight, and probably the sharp highlight, and they all have to be on point,
Yeah.
right? You can't really miss because immediately you will notice it, and it just takes a lot of time. I can't paint an army if I want to go to an event every year with a different army, you can't do it, right? So
Mm.
I like to paint armies. I don't have the concentration span to put the heavy metal style on 40 Marines. No way. So I try to find a way that I can still have the high contrast with the sharp highlights, but don't spend as much time. So basically, what I do is the thick highlights that I do, I do them quite fast with some chipping and maybe with some sponges. And then the only highlight, the most stark highlight, you have to be neat with that one,
Yeah.
right? But you don't have to be as neat with the rest of it. So I can go almost twice as fast as I would have to paint heavy
Mm.
metal style. And I really like with the airbrush to have like the zenithal
Yeah.
contrast. I really like high contrast on a tabletop. I really like if it really pops. And I don't really care as much about realism or grim dark. I
Mm.
really like it. I really rate it. I just can't paint it myself.
Mm.
I always fall back to the more poppy, crispy highlight style, but with a lot of weathering involved as well.
Yeah. And so we have a bit of a workflow. Well, a quick one
Yeah,
on
you can see
the.
the two differences side by side. So the only difference between the left and the right is actually the highlight style. And you can see how much definition it creates, right?
Mm.
So I really like to paint really sharp, really defined. So I always try to also separate elements with black lines and stuff.
Mm.
And also, it's not very realistic, obviously, but you can really read the miniature if you have all these sharp highlights on it. And that's to me what I just really like. If I have a model and I put it like a meter away at arm's length, I need to be able to really read the model itself. And by adding highlights on all the panels, it really helps you to
Yeah.
visually read a model. And I just try to focus a bit with the lighting, with everybody says the faces, the helmets, the weapons. That's what the eye is drawn to.
Yeah.
But I just need to highlight everything. It's me. I just need to do it.
But that's one cause. In the previous episode, which is not online yet at the time we speak, but I was with Ben, Painted Thief, and
Yeah, cool.
actually he was saying that the heavy metal style wasn't for him at all. And yeah, I mean, it's not for me at all because I'm not a good painter because I can't be that neat. I just don't know to do that. But the thing is, we are speaking about like sci-fi universe in the far distant future, blah blah blah. So, well, bothering with the realisticness of things is like a bit of overthinking it, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
I think
So,
that's true. It just depends a little bit. It's just that the heavy metal style tends to be more into 40K universe, right? And when
yeah,
they come to 30K, also in the group chats that we're at, there's not a lot of people who paint the way that I do within Heresy, I found, and that's fine. Everybody can do the thing that they want. The most important part is that you have fun and that you like and you're proud of what you
sure.
create. Right. And for me, it's just this very high contrast style with these stark highlights that I really enjoy. But I also really love the other guys painting as well at No Retreat. You won't imagine if you get there and all the armies are lined out. It's like, holy crap, this is bonkers. This is so next level. Everything is nice. There's not a single bad model at
Mm,
No Retreat. And it's very humbling because then you're like, holy shit, I think I'm a decent painter, right? So then you start to compare and it's like, holy crap, these guys, everybody is so talented. And it's just fun to see, but still very different styles. But everybody, of course, is very good. And I must say that the average hobby level within Heresy is, I think it's very high.
mm.
If I see other groups, other people as well, yeah, it's a very high standard as far as I'm concerned. Everybody is a pretty good painter, to be honest.
But I have to say that the average level on Heresy is higher than, generally speaking, 40K, for
Yeah,
example.
100%.
Wow. I mean, 40K is the average level is pretty low because most people play with gray miniatures, but that's
Yeah, it's also because there's a lot of new players, I think. It takes time, right? And we had
no,
this huge influx of new players with Space Marine 2, Henry Cavill obviously promoting the hobby. So I will never judge anybody who plays with the Grey Army. It just seems to me that in Heresy, people don't want to play with Grey Armies, right?
no,
So when somebody, if my friend would say, "Hey, I'm testing out this new list, I'm building a new army, can we play a game?" Obviously it's not going to be painted. I don't care, right? We still have fun. But
Mhm.
usually when people have their choice, they're like, nah, I'll wait off. I'll paint this a few models more. And also want to really paint with play with a painted army. Because again, heresy is more about the immersiveness and the hobby, right?
Exactly. Mm,
So I think that's just a slightly different mindset, which
mm.
I really like, and it's really for me. So yeah, I would rarely play with gray minis, but I won't mind if anybody does it. I'm not going to be a dick. It's your hobby. We try to have fun. I don't care, but it's cooler if you have to nicely painted armies.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I'm nobody to judge anyone painting skills, but yeah, I'd rather have a game with a painted army than with a gray army. So
Yeah,
yeah.
and it's all and to me, everything is about effort and passion, right? If you're passionate about your army, if you put in everything you have, I don't care how it's painted, right? It's cool to hear, but
Yeah.
you always notice on the person as well who painted it. So
Mm,
it's nice to see if somebody is proud of what they've done
exactly.
because you're both passionate about the same things. And I will always try to speak positively of anybody and really pick them up and give them compliments because they put their heart and soul in it, and it's only a nice thing to do.
And that makes you a good person.
Yeah, I
Absolutely.
hope so.
Mm.
We try to. We
Yeah.
try to.
You can still play Night Lords, obviously, but yeah, you.
Yeah, you can still be have the most dickish legion, but still try to be nice. Have to compensate a bit.
But anyway, just back to painting. So yeah, this really high contrast and sharp and weathered highlights really gives like a really good kick to your miniatures, and they really well. Uh, I didn't see those in the flesh, but I feel like on the tabletop it really gives a yeah, it really pops. Like
Yeah, I think it works quite well. To be really
mm,
honest, I'm quite happy with it. I was afraid that I went a bit too stark with the highlights,
mm.
but in the end, I'm happy with it. I'll roll with it, and this is now the way that I paint my night lords. I'm not going to repaint them; it's out of the question. So
Yeah.
I'm really happy with it.
Yeah, but the highlight color, it's like a really icy blue or
Yes, it's no blue from AK, but I tend to mix a lot of colors when I highlight it because I do the zenithal highlight from the top.
mm,
I need to have a brighter highlight at the uppermost edges and a little bit less bright in the shadow
mm,
recesses. So I usually have like two or three blue colors from the midtones to the upper highlight, and I just try to see what catches the most light, try to mimic it a bit. 9 out of 10 times I just end up with the snow blue around every edge, but yeah, that's what it is.
right. Uh, what would be the hardest technique that you are using on a regular basis? Is that those sharper
Yeah, I think so. I
highlighters?
think it's brush control.
Yeah.
Really, it's quite. Now I'm painting the set and I'm Praetor.
Mm,
I think we will have it further up. It's the heavy metal style that within, if you have like an armor panel with trim, that they do the edges also edge highlight the edges with which are no edges within
mm,
these panels. That's actually quite hard to do, if I'm really honest. So it's all about brush control, trying to create sharp lines. And I still cheat a little bit because sometimes when you can't make like one line around the edge, you have
mm,
to do one line like this, one from the other side, and you don't really join perfectly.
mm.
Just make a scratch.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it seems like a nice line, but there's tricks to
Mm,
mask it a bit. And I still think it looks really nice, but I would say that's the hardest thing I usually do while I'm painting.
right. What would you improve or try or want to learn?
I'm not really sure, to be really honest, because you also had Rob in the interview for Metas Miniatures. I think he's a great painter. He can paint really fast, and he always said, "I don't want to plateau."
Mm,
I'm actually quite happy where I'm at with my painting. I feel I can almost paint anything that I set my mind to, that I
mm,
want to. So if I think of an effect, I think I can almost paint how I imagine it. So I'm quite happy with my painting where I'm at. I'm nowhere near the masters of it. And with my competitive nature, when I started painting, I was like, I want this golden demon, right? I
mm,
want to be this master painter. I saw Richard Gray, Gareth Nicholas, Sergio Calvo, like all these wizards, Flamion. It's nuts what these guys do,
mm,
but it is what they do, right? It's almost their profession and they're professional artists. So the moment I let that ambition go, it's
mm.
like I'm much happier.
Yeah.
I really think that comparing is the thief of joy, right?
Mm,
You should not compare, use it as inspiration, try to be better, and just paint. Paint, paint, paint. At some point, you will notice that you make sharper lines. You notice you make sharper edges. At some point, if you just do it and try to push yourself, you will be better. I'm now at that point that I'm quite happy with my painting. I don't really feel the need to spend so much more time in learning more stuff. I don't care about NMM at all. I just I don't have the time. I don't have the brain capacity to figure out the lighting and stuff. I really like metals, so it's not something I want to learn. I really rate it. If somebody
mm,
can paint NMM well, I think it's fantastic. It looks great. It's a very cool skill, but it's not for me. I'm fine with that. Maybe what I would like to learn a bit more is really good blends with the brush,
mm.
right? With the airbrush, it's very easy to make
Yeah.
blends. I can
Mm,
glaze. I use a lot of glazing on my metallics,
mm,
but really create these seamless brush blends, that would be a nice skill to have. But usually you do it with a lot of passes with glazing,
mm.
stippling, and then I get bored and then I just don't bother anymore.
Yeah, that's also something when you play Heresy is that you're painting armies. So
Yes, I'm very much. If I talk with people, I there's kind of like two categories in general. You're either a display painter or an army painter, right?
yeah.
And obviously both can be very good at what they do, but a lot of display painters people don't know, but they maybe paint between 10 and 20 models a year.
Mm,
I need to paint like 60 infantry models and 4 or 5 tanks in 6 months to a
yeah.
year. Otherwise, I lose my interest in it because I want to play games with that. So I really consider myself to be an army painter, but I like to spend time on characters
Yeah.
making something cool, right? So and I always try to figure out really fast schemes like color
Mm,
recipes for my armies for the normal dudes, and then really make something special of the characters. And I think
mhm.
that's what a lot of people do.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite color to paint?
Well, I have to say blue, don't I?
Yeah, I
But
mean,
also really like painting red because for my 40K armies, I don't know how it happened, but I had like 4 or 5 armies and all of them had something red in them.
mhm.
But but I'm not good at word bearers red.
Ah,
That's the only red tone, like the colder red tone that I can't get it. So I try to do it now with my Saturn Praetor with his cloak with the
mm,
wine stuff. But to me, it just gets pink too quickly. But then I see others do it with pink colors, and then it's like this looks amazing. But for me, I just can't get it to work. I'm very quite good with other red tones. So for the Drukhari, I have a very dark red, and
mhm.
it's more with the orangey reds, like
Yeah.
the Blood Angels red. I feel very comfortable with that tone of red. But I think you need to appreciate if you want to get a good word bearer spread. So you do like appreciating with different colors, and then you tint it with an ink. But I don't really like that style of painting because if you mess up or you put too much ink on it, it's too strong. I like to work with just opaque colors, like real
Mm,
colors bottles or mixes, because then if I make a mistake, I know I can always get the same tone back. And it's not about too much ink or not enough ink, not enough coverage. It's just not the way that I like to paint. But I love a good word bearer's red. It's the nicest red tone there is. I just can't paint it.
yeah, well, it's been maybe 2 years that I'm painting world bearers. I would lie if I'd say that I know how to paint world bearer red,
Yeah.
because I mean I think I changed my recipe maybe 5, 6 times, and I'm still undecided about it. And
Yeah,
I
I know. I tried to do the wood bash red as the red tone with my dark angels. I
Mhm.
think I ordered like 10 or 12 different reds in the last 3 months, and I still don't know which one I should go with. I have no idea.
Yeah.
So we will see where it will take me, but it's a very hard color to get it right.
Yeah, actually, I wouldn't have think that before, but now that I'm painting more blue, like painting blue is very easy in
Yes.
comparison to red. And yeah, yeah, well, I didn't know, but actually,
Yeah, and
it's a
if
common
you
fact.
want, yeah, if you want a really nice tone, by far my favorite blue tone right now is AK medium blue. That's like the
Mhm.
mid tone that I use. I think if I would do night lords for 40K, I would probably make that my brightest highlight and
Yeah.
even the rest of them even darker. Medium blue itself is a fantastic color.
Hmm. Right. Is there a color that you avoid to paint? Ah,
No, not really. I don't
ah,
mind anything. I don't feel uncomfortable with anything. I haven't tried a lot of yellow, but
mhm.
seeing how everybody does it, it's the same thing with painting white. If you have an
Yeah.
airbrush, it helps so much, right? So
Mm.
the airbrush really makes a lot of stuff a lot easier than it has to be. So I don't know. I think I would like any color.
Right. And even I don't know, painting loyalist colors, that would be okay.
Depends on the loyalist. But I really like white scars,
Yeah.
obviously. I would still be intrigued to paint ultramarines, and I
Mm-hmm.
know people are not too fond of that's also a bullshit story, but they get frowned upon. But
Mm.
like the Roman theme is actually pretty cool,
Yeah.
right? These gladiator styles as well
Mm.
with the cool swords and the icons. Must say, if you saw the new 40K reveals, like the Victrix card that they get, the guy with the winged helmet, I would love to. It probably doesn't make a lot of sense, but I would love to chuck that on a Praetor or a Centurion. I think the aesthetic of Ultramarines are very cool. And
Actually, that's a suzerain helmet.
yeah, I thought so as well. So
Yeah.
I'm not too familiar with other legions yet. I need to dive a little bit more into it. But yeah, I just like bright colors to be really honest. So with the Night Lords, I try to make it pop, and I will try it
Mm.
again with Dark Angels.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
yeah, I think there's
Right.
a lot of things you can do.
So you ongoing painting projects, maybe
Night Lords,
plural?
Night Lords. I decided to go to No Retreat again with Night Lords.
Okay.
I would love to go with Dark Angels, but I feel I don't have the time and I don't have the colors ready yet.
Mm.
It is ready yet, so I thought it would be easier for me to expand on the Night Lord. So I tried to make like 1,500 points, like new stuff.
Yeah.
So a set of 9 Praetors, I think a set of 9 Command Squad. I want to have a big new tank, probably the Fellblade.
Oh,
Yeah, I
cool.
think that would be really cool with skin patches and chains everywhere. Try to do something cool with that as the centerpiece.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's going to be a set of 9 Dreadnought, something new, maybe the 2 turrets as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I've printed new Sikaran turrets because I had the Arcas, but now obviously they have to be Punishers. So I will print some new turrets, put them on, and yeah, just looking to make something special again for the Night Lords.
Right. And then, so after that, Dark Angels and
Yeah, Dark Angels, 100%, and also Old World High Elves.
oh, cool.
Yeah,
Very cool. Yeah, the old world is appealing. Yeah. Mm. Very
it's
much.
old school. It's nostalgia.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Okay, so we discussed the painting side of stuff. Uh, but is there a model that you are really proud about amongst all the others?
Yeah, I think mostly the characters that I paint for my armies. I really liked creating this custom warlord for No Retreat and painting him as well. I have a Drukhari Archon that I made from a female vampire counts model from the
Oh,
Gravelands. I converted. It's a very simple conversion, but for me it really worked really well, and I loved painting her as well. So it's usually the characters in my armies that I really like.
And speaking of which, so we have that Praetor with the Power Fist and what is that?
Yeah.
Uh, Combi something? No?
He has an Archaeotech pistol,
Ah,
and he
right.
has the Night Lords. They have the special power claws, like the Eschaton power claws,
Yeah.
which I gave him because I think it's cool.
Yeah.
And I really like the. So this is actually a fully printed model as well. I found the Flash Cape as a separate STL. This model, I'm not sure of the sculptor, but it's a Savitar proxy actually.
Mm.
And I found like the vulture style backpack, and
Yeah.
they did not fit together at all. But if you load the files in Blender, the 3D software, and you place the files and make it one model, they will overlap, right? So
Yeah.
they won't fit if you print them. But what I then do is I subtract the shape of the body from the cape, and I subtract the cape from the body. And then you have two new files. And if you print those, you have a seamless fit. And that's usually how I make new models. I really like to combine different 3D files to make my own. We will touch
Yeah.
about that a
Just
bit further, but
mm,
this is actually what I did for this one as well. So this model doesn't really exist otherwise. So the cape, the backpack, and the body are all from different sculptors, and it really opened a new way for me to be
mm,
creative with Blender. I can't sculpt. I'm really shit with 3D, but I can combine files and do the basic stuff and extract
mm.
stuff. And it really helps for me to create cool characters.
Yeah, I have to say that there are some really talented and really
Yeah,
cool.
I'm
Cool.
really envious of the crazy good sculptors,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I don't have the time to get into it.
Yeah.
Maybe not the talent as well. So I just really happily take whatever they make and try to give it my own spin. But kudos to them. It's a really cool skill to have.
Yeah. And those Nostramian stitches on the cape are really like pure Nightlord stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, I thought it was really cool. So
yeah,
whoever made it, he did a good job. I would have liked that on the other side of the cape,
yeah.
the stitches are not that pronounced, but
Ah, okay.
I thought it was really cool.
Mm.
And actually, I posted him on Reddit as well. And I think the original sculptor left a message that he thought it was cool to see that somebody used his
Ah,
file.
that's cool.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah, that's cool. But and the Vulture jump pack is I
Yeah.
love that model. Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's quite iconic as how it looks.
Mm.
So I gave that one to my characters. Most of my characters, some characters have the vulture backpack, and yeah, I immediately knew I wanted to have a Praetor with a jump pack to go with the Night Raptors. I thought that idea was really cool.
Mm. Is there a model that you really won't ever paint again?
I painted for a charity event in the UK 10 Zangars for
Right.
40K.
Mm.
Um, but we had to paint them to a crazy heavy metal style
Yeah.
standard, and it just burnt me out.
Mm.
It's like, I know this is chaff. Nobody will care. Nobody gives a shit on if they're well painted or not, but you really want to put in an effort to help the guys as well. So I think it took me like 200 to 300 hours to paint those, and I really burned out. It wasn't. I didn't have any fun whatsoever.
Yeah. All right. Is there a model that you are dreaming to paint but you didn't yet?
Yeah, it's a mastodon. You've seen it.
Oh,
You've seen it with Ben. Max have said it before. I think the mastodon is the coolest tank there is. I would love to get one. Still not sure if we should wait till we get it in plastic or not, but it's so cool. Probably within 2 or 3 years, I will get one.
yeah, right. And just because Ben made maybe the best dad joke about that.
I'm not
Uh,
sure. Did he?
yeah, because well, when we did the interview, we didn't manage to finish his Mastodon, but he said that it was almost Mastodon.
I knew something was going to be in that regard. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Of course, Ben would say that. He's the guy who would say that.
yeah, yeah. I love that one very much. So we were speaking about digital kitbash, 3D kitbashing.
Yes,
And so on the side of the screen, you have some, I mean, workflow or some separate pics of your current model. So that's
yes,
the Saturnine Praetor that you're painting right now. Or
yes. 100%.
And so you went, so as you said, so you got the box, didn't like the building at all, sold the box, and then you went through 3D to recreate the models.
Yeah, so apparently when something gets leaked in the Warhammer community, it takes 1 or 2 days and somebody already made like a one-on-one copy of it
Yeah.
as an STL. So of course I wanted to have the Saturnine. At first I wasn't really sure, but the models have grown on me and I think they're actually quite cool now and they're a lot of fun to paint. And I really wanted to have a new version of my warlord
Hmm.
for the next no retreat. So I made a small backstory that Darius Navian, that's my warlord that I made for the no retreat. He died every single game, so doesn't matter. But the last game was against Alex, his Empress children. He has loyalist Empress children, like the worst combination, but doesn't matter. But anyhow, so I wanted to have this cool story that he was defeated in that battle, and then he made a pact with the Chaos God that gave him like this ascended form, and
Hmm.
now he's returned. He's like infused in a Saturnine Terminator armor. So this is the same character, but then in this new form. And when I saw the Saturnine STLs, I thought, hey, maybe I can make it a little bit more Night Lordsy, make it my own. And
Hmm.
then actually, I started to find a lot of cool 3D models that I could combine. And then I just loaded different files in Blender and I added all these custom touches to it, which I think make it quite unique. So I added the tarot cards,
Yeah.
like where that are very specific for Night Lords. On his arc at the top and the bottom left, you can see I put the spikes with the heads on that are
Hmm.
from the file. And I found a pretty cool set of Night Lords icons, logos. So I made those, I think they're called Turgis or Turgis. The English guys will laugh at me for my English, but it's like the loincloth that he has. So I kind of that's the thing I sculpted most about. So I put like the Night Lord's logo on it. I made the flesh hooks at the bottom, and yeah, I think it makes like a character a little bit more unique. And I gave him the big Headman's axe, and yeah, I love playing around in Blender, see if I can make all the parts fit the way they do. And actually, with the arms that come basically in the set, I really positioned them a little bit more backwards that they normally would not fit. You had to cut out a lot of stuff to make it work, but
Hmm.
I can just subtract the body from the arm, print it, and it just fits. So it really opens a lot of possibilities to really make something special.
Well, actually, it's going to look some really amazing. 'Cause I really love the small Night Lord's runes
Yeah,
nailed
those are
on.
those are tarot cards. What
Yeah,
they
ah,
actually
that's a tarot
so
card.
that,
So,
yeah, so
yeah.
that's what the Night Lords get. Like Curse has these tarot cards, and they put them, pin them on the armor and stuff. Yeah, it's like these small touches for me that really make a difference, and it's also a lot of fun.
Mm.
It also takes a lot of frustration and swearing because I can't get used to Blender. It's next level wizardry to me. It's so unintuitive, but I just plow ahead, and when it does work and you print it and you put it together, it's very cool. I have a lot of fun with it.
And is the cape with the box the Praetor from the box? No, the cape
No,
is
the cape is
also
actually
yeah,
from Wilf, like
right.
Diverging Realms. He
Yeah,
made like really cool
yeah.
Conquered Curse model, but yeah, obviously he got nuked. I was just in time to get it, and I just wanted the cape. I wanted to see if I can give him a cool cape. And this cape, you can't see it, but on the other side, there's all these flash patches as well, like
Ah, cool.
on it. So it's a very Night Lordsy cape, and it's going to be like this blood wine red. And I think it will look really cool against the blue tone of the
Yeah.
armor. So this is the model I'm most excited about, and I really try to paint it to the best of my abilities. This is the one model I do take my time for.
Yeah. And I know we spoke about that on Instagram through messages, but you spent a lot of time working on the metallics from the
Yeah.
solder pad, etc. And that's so this is true metal. Wow.
Yes, it's kind of what they call true metallic. I'm not really sure what I'm doing. I just enjoy adding a lot of tones to my metallic.
Mm.
So I use scale 75 metallics. I think they're really
Yeah.
good. Really like black metal. It's the darkest metal I think they have. And then I shade it. I found that if you shade it with contrast paints,
Mm.
it still stays quite metallic. So if you would shade it with Agrax Earthshade or Gnome Oil, it really dulls down the metallic
Yeah.
sheen of it. It becomes quite bland. But if you work with contrast, and I really like Wildwood, that gives it a little bit like a brown weathered
Mhm.
look to it, it still stays quite shiny. So then if you move the model, I think it looks fantastic, to be really honest, because if you do NMM, it's a crazy scale. It's very cool, but it usually works from one angle because you create the light from one angle. But if you do nice true metallic metals with some cool shades, doesn't even have to be like super realistic. But then if you move the model with the natural lighting, I think it works really well. And yeah, I found that I have a lot of fun doing that. Just glazing in layers and layers of wildwood, adding gradients to the metallics. I think
Mm.
it's a lot of fun.
Right. Yeah, it's going to be very cool. Well,
Thank
I'm
you.
looking forward to see the complete model, but
Yeah,
yeah.
me too. I can't wait, but I just have to spend more time on it. It takes a lot of time. Yesterday, I spent the whole evening highlighting his left arm. But yeah,
Oh my
it is what it
God.
is. But I'm taking my time and I'm having a lot of fun. And I think that's the most important thing, right? As long as you have fun, doesn't matter how long it takes.
Right. Uh, but do you still use some regular models, like straight out of the box, or not?
Yeah, well, I tend to convert almost any some parts in any model, but I think I will use the Arachnid turrets.
Mm-hmm.
I probably will use the Saturnine Terminator as well, of a Saturnine Dreadnought. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's quite cool. It's not that I am against plastic models. It's just that if I figure out that the effort to build a unit is so much harder and more than just printing it, and if I can find good files like substitution files, then yeah, I prefer to print. But if it, I also like to work with plastic. So to me, it's not that I don't want to work with plastic. I think printing is more convenient to me. But yeah, it's like the turret seems pretty cool, pretty straightforward. All my tanks are kind of always plastic. Don't print them. I think printing a tank is maybe more of a hassle than actually
Mm-hmm.
assembling a plastic tank, but just depends on if I can find good files and if it's easy or not.
Right. Then we have some copy paste issue because
Yeah,
I just this one is for the next slide. But
doesn't matter.
what setup are you currently using for 3D printing? So
For my
you
printers,
you're
yeah.
using
So
Blender and
yeah,
what?
I use Blender. I only use Blender when I try to modify files. If
Mhm.
you just find files, you don't need Blender at all. I use Jitterbugs. That's like the 3D software where you put supports on the files that you have, and that's what I send to my printer. The other one is I think it's called Lychee Slicer. So
Mhm.
you kind of have two flavors. I found a very good video series on manually supporting 3D files with Jitterbugs.
Mhm.
Because with 3D printing, it's quite high learning curve. I would say it's quite steep at the start, but if you learn how you properly support a file, you can print anything. So I spent quite some time in figuring out learning how to
Mhm.
manually support files, and it really helped me a lot because it also depends on the angle, how many supports you place, like the quality of the print is quite impactful on how you support it.
Mhm.
And that's what I do with Jitterbugs. I just have a resin printer, a Elegoo Saturn 4 Ultra. I think it's
Mhm.
4K or 8K, but at some point the case don't matter
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah.
So
Mm.
it's moot anyway, but it's a very nice printer. It's very easy to be really honest. And yeah, I love printing.
You look like you do, but yeah,
Yeah.
no, the results are really sharp and yeah, pretty amazing.
And it's quite cheap. It's
Yeah,
really cheap
also.
because if you have good resin, I don't use high quality resin at all. I have Sunlu resin. It works like a charm to me. It's quite
Mm.
sturdy as well. If you drop it, it doesn't break
Right.
immediately, so it's a little bit more flexible.
Mm.
And like I said, I printed 12 Outrider bikes. I think for Forge World you pay like 80 euros for three bikes. I
Yeah,
printed
that might
like
be it.
12, I printed 12 bikes for 10 bucks or
Yeah,
50. right? So it's also saving time, saving money. It's a good addition to the hobby, I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously I can't say we support IP infringement, etc.
No, of
on the
course not.
channel,
That's yeah,
but
I totally agree with that. It's like a fine line you thread, but at some point I can't justify the cost against the effort anymore, the quality that you get. So I always tried when I can, if there's good kits, I will get the kits, right? Because I still think you need to
mm,
support the original creators, but I'm not gonna pay like these crazy Forge World prices, right? I just won't
yeah,
do
but
it. I do want to have cool models that I can play with,
mm,
but I also accept the fact that I will probably never play an event in Warhammer World,
mm,
right? So it's fine with me. But yeah, it's the same that people say, yeah, you should not have IP infringement while they have a whole China cast army
yeah, yeah, yeah.
in the closet,
Well,
right? It's just that I get it. Everybody gets it. We're all adults here. It's yeah, it's what it is.
mm. Yeah, and then now the other thing is that for maybe now it's better, but it's been a while since I went on a GW website, but the almost all the
Yeah.
Forge World range was out of stock for months.
Yeah, but even when in 40K, when we had new models, I think I waited half a year for the Primaris Tech Marine. It was just out of stock because it was quite good. I just got a China cast one. I was fed up. I want to have this model, right? It's
Mm,
nice for my army. It fits in my army. It's thematic. I didn't care. I just at some point I just wanted
mm.
to have it painted. So I got one from China. That's what it is.
Yeah, yeah, sadly, but still. Anyway, this Praetor, yeah, no, everything looks right about him for a Night Lord. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, I know. It's a small things, but no, thank you. I'm quite happy with where it's going.
yeah, it's going to be really amazing. So we are done with the main questions.
Yes,
Now it's time for, I mean, like the interview
the
really
real
starts.
question, the
Yeah,
real questions.
exactly. So would you rather go on a trip in the warp with Erebus or Engram?
Yeah, yeah, I've seen it. I just can't get with Erebus, but I don't think I would survive for 2 seconds with Angron. So I'd rather be alive in the war with a dickhead than be dead. So I think it has to be Erebus. And probably when you talk with him a bit longer, maybe you get to see his side of the story, right? There's always two sides to the story. So maybe we'd get
Yeah,
along. No,
well, I don't think that might happen with Erebus, but
I don't think so too, but we can always be naive.
yeah, you could.
Yeah.
Did you ever wash your brush in your coffee, beverage, etc.?
Yeah, it's happened once or twice.
And did
It's
you?
always in coffee.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. And did you ever drunk paint water?
No, I have not. I have like this GW painting pot because I think that one's actually quite nice. So you can't really mix that up a
Yeah.
coffee cup. But usually when I paint, the coffee cup is next to the GW cup.
Mm.
So you kind
Yeah.
of happened that I washed my brush in coffee, but only once or twice. But it has happened.
What kind of physical activity or sport do you enjoy, if any?
Yeah, I still play football.
Right.
So I play with my local club. I'm still in the first team. I think Max would really like to hear that I still play in the first team. Even older than he is. He gave me so much shit for that on the WhatsApp, but I don't care. So it keeps me young. I'm a goalkeeper as well, so I don't
Right.
need to run as much. But no, I enjoy playing it. I've been in the first team for 20 years, longer
All
than
right.
so
Yeah.
yeah. So these will be a few of my last years, but we have a nice team. There's cool guys. There's still some guys that I've been playing with in the first team for the last 15 years. I
Well,
still like 3 or 4 guys playing. So those are some of my best friends, right? So
yeah.
again, it's the social aspect.
Mm.
And also the rhythm it has. We train twice a week and we have a match on Saturday. So it's also a rhythm and it's yeah, it's
Mm.
good for you to move and exercise a bit.
Right. What's your favorite food and drink?
I'm a sucker for pastas. I really like a good pasta, carbonara, bolognese. It's good. Like a good pasta, I can really enjoy. And drinks, yeah, I'm a weird one. I don't like beer. It's
Hmm.
weird. Um, I would love to like beer because everybody drinks beer and we have all these special beers, but I just like I don't like the taste. So I usually drink these mixed drinks. So I have vodka with cokes, rum and coke. So I drink the sweet drinks.
Right.
Probably why I'm a bit too heavy, but it's what it is.
So it's been really a long time since I went to the Netherlands, but is that pankoek, the koekenpan thing?
Yeah, pannenkoek.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pannenkoek.
oh, pannenkoek is very nice actually. So it's a very simple and straightforward, but it's just I think it's dough, eggs. You mix it, you bake
Yeah.
it in a pan, you put bacon on it, cheese on it, and it's great. It's great. I really rate it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I remember correctly.
Yeah,
And,
if you ever manage to come play a game here at my place, I will take you to a very good pannenkoek restaurant. They even put pulled pork on it, so it's it's weird, but it's really good.
yeah, sounds good. Hmm, okay.
You will love it.
Yeah. And so you mentioned previously that you were listening to audiobooks while
Yes.
painting.
Yeah. Always.
Yeah. Audio.
Yeah, and I used to see a lot of movies, but always the movies I've seen before.
Yeah.
It's from my childhood, but I'm a sucker for Harry Potter actually,
Okay.
because I think I was 12 or 13 years old when I actually read the first books.
Mhm.
So the movies weren't even a thing. And because you're young and you have this imagination, it really I was really drawn into it as well, that fantasy part of it. So I can watch all the movies just as background noise. I really like that.
Mhm.
Same with Lord of the Rings, some other cool movies. But obviously, I'm very big into audiobooks. I've listened to the whole Heresy series whilst painting. And that also got me into Heresy as well, because you really learn about the story, you learn about the setting more, and then, yeah, you get much more interested in it. I've listened to all the Eisenhorn books. I'm right now listening to the Ravenna books, more like the 40K universe, but I just like the whole universe that they made within Warhammer. So yeah, I really like it.
Right. And just a word for the is that Herald or something on the side
Yeah,
of
that's a Herald. Yes, just a regular banner dude. I really like making the banner. I think the sculpt is from Red Warden
yeah,
Miniatures,
I
and he had
think
a lot of
that's
cool
his
stuff.
style. Yeah.
Yes, but no, 100%. I loved painting the banner. Tried to do some stippling here and there. Tried to do some new things. I'm really happy with the skull. So yeah, you had to have a Herald in 2.0 because it makes the Night Raptors line.
Yeah.
And right now, I think they've been nerfed to the ground. I don't think you would ever see a Herald again, but I'm not sure.
Well, they are more situational.
Yeah, they're not as good as 2.0, right? In
No.
2.0, everybody had a Herald.
Yeah.
It's like you make one big unit very good with line, right? So that's why I made him.
Yeah, yeah. I had a Herald running around with a Galvorbax. It was pretty
Yeah, it
cool.
makes sense. And I think Ben had it with his Terminators, like Imperial Fist Crazy Terminators. You
Yeah.
saw Heralds everywhere with the biggest units.
Yeah, with the Oscars or something. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
but it makes sense, right? Because if it's your biggest brick that you have and you just harass somebody's objective, it makes a lot of sense because the rules made it so.
But it was like trying to jump on the competitive wagon, but to not get left behind.
Yeah,
So,
but if you don't do it, you hamstring yourself so much, right? I only had two units with line,
mm,
so I needed a third one. I needed a good one. So the easiest way to do it is put a herald
mm,
within one of your best
yeah,
units and just roll with that.
exactly. No, you have to choose. All right. Would you rather spend an evening with Conrad Kurz or with Sevata?
Well, it's a difficult one, but I've read or listened to the Curse Primarch book. I'm not really sure. I wasn't a big fan of the whole story arc, how he just let himself die just to prove his point to the Emperor. It's
Yeah.
Nah, I'm not sure. I think Savitar is actually quite cool. I think he's a cool dude. He's a cool character, and I think even though for a Night Lord, he's little bit different than most of them are. He's
Oh yeah.
not that
Mm,
much of an evil contest as a evil asshole as the other ones. But yeah, I would have to go with Jago.
right. Would you spend all your holiday? Well, would you rather spend all your holidays in Nostromo or be forbidden for painting night lords?
I don't mind never painting night lords again. I think a holiday on the summer would suck, like, like the worst. And I can just paint something else. I will make like dark blue ultramarines. I still paint, but of course I love my night lords. But a holiday on Nostromo just sounds horrible.
Yeah, I don't think that might be such a great idea.
No, I
Yeah,
don't even know if the sun comes up there. So I would tan as well. So no holidays on Nostromo for
yeah.
me.
But no need for sunscreen, you know. So
No, that's true, but I think that's more a problem with the British. I don't have a problem with that, to be honest. I'm quite tanned. I don't get a sunburn easily, so I don't mind a bit of sunshine.
right. Would you rather use phosphex or graviton if you have to shoot at somebody?
Phosphex is very gnarly, isn't it?
Mm.
It's not a very nice thing to do. Still, graviton is not as well, but a lot of people say they always go with graviton, and just to be a dickhead, I will go with Phosphex. Some people just want to watch the world burn, and
Yeah.
it's it seems to me like a quite Night Lord's way to do it.
I'd say, yeah, it's a pretty night lordish
So I'll
kind of.
take Phosphex over Graviton today.
Right. Nice choice. Just before we go to the next slide, so that's partly part army shot on the side
Yeah.
of the screen, but I picked that one because we can see all the highlight work on the Scorpion. No, it's not Arcus.
The current, yes, it's a
Yeah, it's a
Sakaran
Sicaran.
Arcus, indeed. Yeah.
And yeah, it's properly amazing. Yeah, like all that,
Yeah, thank you. I
not
really
stream, but yeah.
I do like they call it like the panel modulation style. So
Mm,
it's again not very realistic, but you try to create all these grades and fades on the
mm,
armor itself. And then if you separate it with stark highlights, I think it really pops, and I think it looks really nice from a distance if you rock up to
mm,
the table. And I think the tanks were a lot of fun to do. Takes quite some time because you have to go almost around all the edges, but like if a tank has very defined edges, it's not as hard as you think it is, because if you use the side of the brush
mm,
and you
mm,
really slide along the edges, you can go quite fast if you have the good control over it.
mm,
But I really enjoyed painting the tanks, and I think the two Sakarans were like the mainstay of my army. They
mm.
looked really cool together, I think, and that really made the army work as a whole. And I just loved every minute of it.
Right. They look good. Um, so we went through all the questions.
Yes.
So yeah, the two Sicarans are on the bottom of the screen, and just a few last picks from a selection of your Night Lords. So the
Yeah.
two Arcuses, a Contemptor, and I don't know. It's not a Night Raptor. Yeah,
No,
no.
this is just a Mark 6 Marine, but I
Yeah.
think what also drew me into Nightlaws was the custom Forge World heads. I think the
Yeah.
Forge World Mark 6 heads and shoulders are very good, amongst
Mm,
one of the best sculpts that the Forge World team has done for all the legions. So I thought those masks were really cool,
mm.
and they were a lot of fun to paint as well.
Yeah, yeah, very detailed and
Yeah,
yeah.
I really like the crow skull mask that they have on. I'm not even sure what it's like, bat like skulls, but
Mm.
I really rate it. And I tried to do a little bit of green stuff work. That's one skill I would definitely would like to learn
Mhm.
more, is green stuff. I think we did a green stuff course at No Retreat with Barry. He's such a wizard with
Yeah,
stuff. And if you're so good with green stuff, it's the same if you're a sculptor with 3D, right? You can make anything you want. And the only thing that I did with try were those skin patches on the Contemptor. I also made those skin patches on all the normal dudes as well. And I think that works really well for Night Lords. I found a good tutorial
yeah,
online how to do it. And it just adds a bit of character and flavor for the army. And I'm really looking to do the same for the Saturnine Terminators that I will be
mm,
making. They will get chains everywhere, skulls, heads, sawn off hands and stuff. Yeah, just to make it a little bit more grim for the Night Lords.
yeah. It's a good fit for them,
Yeah,
absolutely.
it's fun to do as well. I didn't feel very comfortable doing it, but later on, I also did some blood effects on the edges of the
Mm.
skin patches. And if you just look at it from a distance, it works quite well. But yeah, I didn't feel comfortable at all doing it. But sometimes you just need to get out of the comfort zone and just try to do something different.
Mm. And then just a last slide, just to show that you can paint something else than Night
Yes,
Lord.
that's
Uh,
true.
and I just say if you are not following Geoff on Instagram, like it's really worth it and it doesn't cost anything. So go follow the man on Instagram. And
Yeah, and I'm always happy if you want to know how I painted something, my recipes. I don't have a Patreon. I don't care about that stuff. I always try to help people. And if you have a question on how I painted something, just shoot me a message, and usually I will respond and give you the sauce.
yeah, you're a good person. Yeah.
I try to be.
And so we have a Space Marine Terminator, we have a Chaos Warrior. Uh,
Yeah, it's
uh,
funny actually that like most of the models that were not Night Lords, I actually painted for charities. So
okay.
the Terminator was from my good friend Knight and Cantor Painting from Italy.
Mhm.
Very cool guy. He runs a charity event. The Chaos Lord was for Zach from Faith and Damnation Facebook group. He has a really cool Facebook group, quite private, but a lot of nice people in there. And he also did a charity army. So yeah, I really like to help out where I can. Yeah, it's fun.
And I really love the Drukari with the rusty blades
Yeah,
on the back
it's
of
actually
the.
quite easy to do. It's very forgiving to do. If you know how to do it, it's super easy because you just base coat it brown. I just stipple with an old brush. I just dab on three different kinds of like brown and orange tones,
Mhm.
and then I use a sponge with silver, highlight it, done.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it works really well. And my Drukhari are one of my favorite armies. I will not sell them off yet, so I will keep them for now and see maybe if 11th edition is fun. But yeah, they're
mm,
one of my favorite armies that I have. So I do enjoy painting that type of red with the yellows. So it's yeah, it's just fun.
mm. And yes, I can tell now that yeah, the deep red is different from the World Bearer red.
Yeah.
Not much, but it's
It's with orange tones, right? So
yeah.
you work from very like warm reds with orangey reds, and
Mm,
then it's just different with the finish. Probably if the last highlight would be like more pinkish highlights, it would already go a little bit more towards the wood bearers red. But
yeah.
these are very fun colors to paint.
Mm,
And it's not that hard, if I'm really honest, to have this type of red. This
yeah.
is one quite forgiving.
Well, anyway, it looks very good.
Thank you.
Mm. So we are done with this 10th episode. It was a great talk with Joe. Thank you
Yeah,
very much.
likewise, likewise. I had a lot of fun. Thank you for hosting me. It was awesome.
Well, thanks for your time, and so I'm personally looking forward very much to see the what's next for the Night Lords, and that Dark Angels project got me pretty excited too.
Yeah,
So
there will be some stuff on my page soon. I think I did some testers, and I'm very excited for it too. I just, like I said, need to find the right thing to really to make it work for myself. But yeah, I'm just very excited. All things heresy in general, I really
mhm.
love being in the scene, and all the people have been great. This has been great. So yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah,
That's cool to hear. So bye, Geoff. Bye, everyone, and see
guys,
you
thank
next
you.
time.
Have a good evening. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Oh, and sorry, just the last thing, because that Spardo taught me how to do that. If you liked what you see, what you saw, you have to click on the subscribe button below and like and comment, because that's apparently good for the channel. And
I will leave
you
a
know,
comment on all your videos, but he is right. Pardo is very, very good at promoting all his videos that he
yeah,
does,
it's
but it
good.
helps. So, and I think it's fun. I think it's a great series that you've put up. There's a lot of nice guys in there as well. So I'm very humbled to be a part of it, and I think it was a huge fun.
Well, thanks to you for being a part of it. And no, see you
See you
next
guys.
time.
Happy hobbying and have fun painting.
Bye.